The website is 3 months old. It's a low competition keyword, and it went from 50th to 15th position, but it got stuck around 15 to 16 position for 2 to 3 weeks now. One lead gen site is ranking location page. How can I go up? We can't really. We really have to like look at stuff. We can't really answer that for you, man. But jumping from 50 to 15. So now you're basically jumping from 50 to 15. 50 before was like Google's like his website's about this thing. We know it's about this thing when it's at 50. Now when you're up to 15, Google's like his website's about this, and now you're in the competition to Google's saying like you're a contender for one of the best pages, right? Once you get to like, page two or like halfway up page two or the top of page two, it's like when you're really like starting the actual competition, right? Before
Fight.
before that, it's like Google's just trying to understand like what the page is about or whatever. But yeah, so now you're basically in the running, right? Now you're like really in the competition. And so 2 to 3 weeks at 15 doesn't really mean anything. I mean, did you do anything else? Did you build more links? Did you add more supporting content? I mean, you could be at that position a lot longer than 2 to 3 weeks, and it could be completely normal depending on what exactly you're doing to try to push it further. But in general, when you're trying to rank up further, time is a big factor here. Depending on the keyword, I mean, it's low. You said it's low competition, but depending on the keyword, it could just take some time for Google to decide to move you onto page one or whatever. But in general, what you're looking at when you're trying to rank up is backlinks. Backlinks to your homepage as well as to the page you're trying to rank. You can do stuff like you can make your content better if you think it can be improved. Take a look at the top ranking pages and look at those and just make sure your content is in line with that. So have a good length that has all the keywords in it that it needs to have in it, that kind of stuff. Make sure that your interlinking is on point. Make sure it's being linked to from the other articles on your website or even from your silo for that topic, which we've been talking a lot about today. Make sure that you have enough supporting content about the subject. It's like other articles on your website that are, kind of related to the same thing that are also linking to that page contextually. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do. But in general, a lot of the times once you get, if everything is optimized correctly, which I don't know if yours is optimized correctly, but if your on page is good, your content is good, if everything is good, and if you're like right in line with the other pages that are ranking, then usually what it comes down to is links at that point. Especially for a low competition keyword, right? These other websites might just have a lot more authority than you. Go look at those websites that are ranking at the top, compare them to your own. What's their DR compared to yours? How many referring domains do they have on their website as a whole and to that individual page compared to yours? You can even look up and see how much supporting content they have, like how many other articles on their website do they have that's kind of related to the same thing that are linking to it contextually. So you can look at all those things, but a lot of times it really just comes down to authority, right? Just because the keyword is low competition, if you got a big authority site and you write an article to target that low competition keyword, and even with zero links to that article, because you have this huge authority site with a lot of the links to the homepage and to all your other pages, you're just gonna like auto rank for it, and good luck to the smaller guy because it's just not going to happen, right? They're not going to beat you out if they're actually seriously targeting that keyword with the page. Then you're just going to come down to links and authority at that point. You got anything to add on that, Nick?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, like Chris said, 3 months is not a long time, even if it's a local site and you're going
Yeah,
after low competition
yeah. 3 months
keywords,
is
right?
actually a short time.
Incredibly short. So, a lot of people call it the sandbox phase. I don't necessarily like to call it that, probably because I just, when I first started in SEO, I kept considering that and kept, with my business partner at the time, we kept thinking that we screwed something up and
You
Google was
probably
just going
did.
to keep us in this purgatory sandbox phase forever, and then we'd start making mistakes based on what we thought we made mistakes on. And so, that's a whole game set, right? Like it's confusing the newer, less, seasoned SEO. And so what I think is important, especially for newer SEOs, and what I like to stress a lot, or what we like to stress a lot here, is keep building. Your objective shouldn't just be, I've got this keyword, it's going to be worth some money, and it's very low competition, so I'm going to get in there, boom, I'm set. Don't think like that. Think starting off with, I'm building a business, right? Even if it's just online, I'm building a business.
You're so
I need to
small.
flesh it out. And you, oh my
Go
gosh.
ahead.
And you do that by continually fleshing out, your topical relevance about these things. So, this article is going to go up going after that low competition keyword, but keep that going, keep building, keep adding links month to month, right? This needs to be an ongoing campaign. That's going to help Google build some trust in you a lot quicker. And then typically those small keywords that you start to see popping up initially are going to be those low competition keywords that you wrote about maybe 6-7 months ago, depending on what you're doing and what the competition is, not only for that specific keyword, but for the umbrella of the niche that keyword falls under as well, right? Because like Chris said, if there's an authority site that's got everything fleshed out under that umbrella, it's typically going to beat you out even without links. So your intention should be to flesh out the content and the backlinks to that asset over a prolonged period of time. And typically when I'm talking to a newer SEO, like if they want a timeline, I'd say keep doing that, keep what you're doing, because you've already done real well getting from position 50 to page 2 to 3 for this topic. Keep fleshing it out and expect, it might take 6 months before things actually start resonating positively in Google and you start getting page 1 rankings. But once you do get that, it's typically a lot easier to get into that flow and watch these things rank a lot quicker. So yeah, you're doing well, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just end this question with a something positive. Is your website's only 3 months old and you're knocking on the door of page 1. You're position 15 for a keyword.
Yeah.
That's really good. So you're doing something right. A lot of websites at 3 months old, Google's they're still not ranking for any keywords. There's nothing on Ahrefs and whatnot. So you're doing something right. Keep at it. There's a bunch of different angles you can approach this by. So look at your competitors, see what they got going on. That's definitely where I would start. But yeah, 3 months old, you're in position 15 for a keyword. You're doing good. Good stuff. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the links below for more info on this topic, as well as other cool stuff like SEO case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks, and happy ranking.